Fight, 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 fight! Why do fight scenes suck? Hi, by the way. Yes, not all fight scenes suck. A lot of them do, though. You got like John Wick, all the John Wick movies, those have some great fight scenes. You got first season of Reacher, I like those fights a lot better than season 2. That might just be my personal opinion. And then you got like everything Jackie Chan does. There's so many fights out there and in so many pieces of media. Yes, I'm coming for you too, book people. You're not getting away from these hands. There's just so many bad fight scenes. Now I was thinking about this mostly when I really tried to watch the most recent season of The Witcher. I couldn't do it. And there is plenty to complain about in the most recent season of The Witcher. Don't get me started on that, because I will get started on that and you will not be able to shut me up. The first scene completely mangles, destroys everything that the book was supposed... Okay, I'll digress. If you want me to make a video about that, put it in the comments. And hey, while you're there, like and subscribe too. Yeah. Like the point in your story that is supposed to be the most high adrenaline and like everything's happening right now. Someone could die. Ooh, your favorite character could get hurt. And they suck. And that sucks. So I thought on it and I thought on it and I rubbed my hairless chin and I said, I figured it out. I know why fight scenes suck. And as a result, I wanted to make a video about it. So there you go. Yes, there are plenty of reasons within a production that a fight scene can suck. Maybe they hired a bad stunt guy. Maybe they didn't have the time or the budget they needed to train for the fight scene. A whole bunch of reasons like that. Not what I'm talking about. There are some really great stunt people out there that do amazing work and can choreograph an amazing fight, but it just doesn't work out. So I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple different things. And I'll put those up behind me right now. Thank you. And the first one I want to talk about is directors. This is what I went to school for. I went to film school. I know, make fun of me as much as you want, but I did learn a lot. And it does just have to do with cameras and lighting and writing and all that stuff. But I learned a lot about what makes a good scene. So we'll take it all the way back to Film 101. There's the idea of the 180-degree rule. So basically, you draw a straight line from where your camera's set up. My camera's right here, setting up this 180-degree line. In filmmaking and in movie making, show making, whatever, you're not supposed to cross that 180-degree line. It can disorient your viewer, it can mess up the understanding of where everything is in the scene. So when I do this and come to give my little light a kiss, that's fine, because it's within the 180 degrees. But if I do this and completely 180 my camera, this is weird, I don't want you seeing my mess. We'll flip it back. When I break that 180-degree rule, it discombobulates the audience. It is a little confusing what you're looking at because you were just looking this way, but now you're looking directly behind you. Like a conversation, you've all seen it on TV or whatever. You'll be facing the person that's talking, and then you'll 180-degree it so you can see the other person talking. That's fine. You have reference for why you are making that camera move. It makes sense to the audience. What makes less sense to the audience is when there's no justification for that switch. And it can be used for that purpose in a fight scene. If you flip around the camera like that, you will discombobulate your audience. And that works. That works really well sometimes. Because fights are chaotic and they are weird and everything is happening at the same time. There is no order in a fight. So you can use that 180-degree rule. You can break it, you can intentionally discombobulate your audience. But don't do it so much. And in this sense, it is the director's fault. Or it is the camera operator's fault for the fact that they broke the 180-degree rule. Now I'm a little confused where everything is and I'm not sure what's going on within the scene. That's a problem. So it very well can be the fault of the director or the cinematographer for why you can't really follow the fight. They don't really know what the fight should look like, so they kind of wing it and it doesn't work out the way they wanted it to, and then it just becomes a bit of a mess. What can you do about that? You can try to save it in editing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Funny enough, that is why the John Wick movies are so good at filming fighting. Because the director was a stunt guy. That guy. He does great work. He knows how to choreograph a fight for camera. He knows what looks good on camera. So he can tell his director of photography, hey, I'm looking to do this in this scene, so you need to set the camera up this way. We'll get a shot that goes up. We can really see a lot of the fight. And that brings me to my next point. Can't see the dang fight. You've seen it. I know you've seen it. So I'll just hop right into it. When I can't see the dang fight, I have an issue with that. Maybe the lights weren't set up right day of. I don't know what your excuse is, but the director should be getting on that. If I can't see the fight, I can't enjoy the fight, I can't tell you how good of a job you did on that fight. You see what I'm saying here? I need to see the fight, which is something that Reacher Season 1 did great. Like the bathroom fight, dude, that was so good. I could see everything that was going on, and yes, I could see a couple like pulled punches and missed punches. We'll consider the missed punches, we'll consider that an elbow. But the fights are so good because they choreographed them, because they knew, hey, this is gonna be a spectacle, and we wanna see the spectacle. It takes place in the middle of the day. Sure, it's in a bathroom, whatever. It's a cool fight, dude. By the way, if I'm too loud, this is a new microphone, so sorry, I guess. Audio quality should be better though. So the next thing I want to bring up for why fight scenes are bad is something I'm always gonna be harking on. Knowledge. You gotta learn what a fight looks like. Yeah, there are some really cool people in Hollywood that have actually fought before, boxed before, MMA. Hey, look at her, she's cool. But I'm gonna promise you, most people in Hollywood probably have not gotten in a fight. They don't know what the proper impact should be. They don't know what it looks like to be in a fight. And a lot of times, they didn't do the work. They didn't do the research. They didn't look into what a fight actually looks like. Maybe they didn't listen to their stunt coordinator. If they didn't listen to the stunt coordinator, the person who's choreographing the fight, they have no idea what's going on. It's so important in storytelling of any kind to know what you're talking about, at least a little. So every time you see a spin move in a fight scene, that's so dumb. I hate that so much. Now, I was just a little guy at one point and I thought swords were really, really cool. And I still do. So of course my parents bought me and my brother lightsabers. The choreography in Star Wars is pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's not realistic, of course, but we'll just chalk that up to the Force and move on with our day. But anyway, I thought swords were really, really cool. So much so that I watched a lot of HEMA videos. That's historical European martial arts. It's like pole fighting and like swords. That's what I was interested in, was the swords. And what I got out of those videos, besides not getting a date in high school, was a little more appreciation for how swordplay actually works. If you're doing your spin move, you're just opening your back up to your enemy. Yes, there's armor there. Yes, there's reasons that they wouldn't necessarily attack, whatever. You're making yourself a target, an easily hit target. Even if it's not going directly for the back, boom, right in the head, you're dead, sorry. But there's so many spins in Hollywood movies. Like Witcher, again, we'll go back to it. Spin move. It's stupid. And even to people that don't know a lot about sword fighting and sword play, I think you know that that's kind of stupid. Like, how much more power can you really get from doing a full spin and basically losing out on most of the power from your hips just to go anyway? So when people don't know what fighting looks like, that's a real problem. That's another reason fights suck. Now, before I get into trashing book people, what up nerds, I want to talk a little bit about my number one pet peeve. That's not right. I don't know how that got there. It's slow-mo. Get out of here. Slow motion. Any fight that has slow motion in it, aren't you missing the point? If a fight is supposed to be deadly aggression, the number one purpose of a fight is to hurt or super hurt your opponent. So when I'm watching something and the fight slows down and you really get to see that face deformation and the spittle flying out of their mouth, what's that doing for you, bud? What does that do for you as the audience? It shows you what, the impact? Couldn't have been that hard, because I know these are actors, and I know he didn't actually punch him full force. So what's the point of it? Like, yes, slow-mo can be used sparingly. and in its right place. When you're mid-fight, mid-punch, punch, punch, slash, 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 whatever, I don't want to slow down. Which brings me kind of to the inspiration of this video. This right here, when Geralt's up in the air, he's got his sword, he's coming down on the monster, and they slow it down. What the hell? That's not cool. You're giving me more time to look at your CGI monster and be upset that it's not real. You're giving me more time to look at Henry Cavill. That's not what we're here to talk about. Maybe another day. But anytime you slow down your footage, I'm not interested anymore. If you're trying to show me, look how good Geralt is at killing monsters, why did you slow it down? If he's so good at killing monsters, why is he going so slow? I, as the audience member, don't want to look at a piece of media and say, why are they going so slow? Aren't they supposed to be good at this? That's what a montage is for, dude. If you were so good at it, but it takes a long time, I'm gonna show it to you in real time, just chop those times up. I'm trying to show you that they are excellent at what it is they do. But it's gonna take too long to show you frame for frame, so I'm gonna chop it up. They're not doing it slowly, they're doing it very fast. They're doing it very quickly for their skill level in that expertise. Let's say they are a shipwright. They are building a ship. Hi Frankie. I've been watching One Piece recently. I don't know if you could catch that from all the references and videos. I've been watching a lot of One Piece. If someone is building a ship, I know that that takes a long time. As the audience member, I know this gigantic ship that's supposed to traverse oceans isn't done in a day. I know that. If they were to show me Frankie building the Thousand Sunny, frame by frame, slow motion, that's lame as hell, dude. That's so lame. I want to see a montage. I want to watch this thing get built up super quick because I know he's good at it. And he is just that fast at it. But in a fight scene, when Geralt is trying to kill a monster, I don't want to watch every motion that he makes. No, that's lame. He's good at this. Let him be good at it. Don't slow him down. I'm not the one who's supposed to know how to kill monsters. He is. Let me watch him kill monsters. So if you couldn't tell, I have a lot of feelings on The Witcher. I can make a video about that. It will be a long rant. I will be upset for most of it, and I will have to watch every season of The Witcher. So if you want to put me through that pain, leave a comment about it, I guess. To soften the blow a little, like and subscribe, do all that stuff. Anyway, let's keep talking about fights. I mentioned Jackie Chan earlier. He has some of the best fight scenes that have ever been put to film. If you disagree with me, stop it. Don't disagree with me on this one. He has some of the best fight scenes ever. Yes, it is his team. He knows his team, he works with his team. They do fights and scenes and shots dozens of times just to get it exactly right. That takes a lot of work. They put a lot of work into their fights. That's awesome. But the part of the fight that hits home the most, and that's what we're trying to do, right? As storytellers, we are trying to hit home. We are trying to convey our story in a way that makes sense and makes a human emotional response. Jackie Chan gets hit a lot. Yes, there's gags, there's goofs, there's silly little, oh, he's got a ladder on him, I guess he's gonna spin around to hit all the bad guys. That's a lot of fun. But he gets hit a lot. In the same sense that anytime you see, for the fellas out there, you know what I'm talking about, when you see a guy get hit in the nuts and you go, ooh, oh, that physical reaction, you've just connected with that guy in a very painful and uncomfortable way that I don't want to experience, but I have connected with him. I saw that man in pain and I felt it. I felt it even though I didn't experience it. In the same sense, when Jackie Chan gets hit in the head or gets punched in the gut or he's held back and he's just getting wailed on, you relate to that. You feel that emotionally. Because you like Jackie Chan. You like his character. We have formed a bond between me as the audience member and the character as the character, and we have experienced each other's pain. So when they experience pain, we also experience that pain. Not physically, emotionally. And that's one of the best ways that you can make a fight scene good. This is a bit of a twofer, but it does a lot to explain what a good fight scene is. It's the emotional response to seeing someone that you like being hurt. It's the last stand against the orcs, and all you have to do is hold out until first light. The wall comes down, everything is ruined, but we're gonna stand up. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight because that's what is right. You gotta fight for your right to party. And because we like those characters, and we know those characters, when they stand up, it's a round of applause. It's pumping your fist because yes, they're doing it. They're fighting for what they believe in. And when they get hit, oh, come on, get up, you could do it. You could do it because you are emotionally relating to them. Now, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. You don't have to be defending the kingdoms of men. You can just think a dog is cute. Yes, I understand that the dog represents more than just a dog, but it's also a very cute dog, so think about that for a second. And once those bad boys come and hurt that little puppy, I'm on John's side for the rest of the movie. Don't care, do whatever you want, John, do whatever you want. So everything in relation to these film and television fights is all well and good. But what if you don't have a camera? Think about that for a second. I would be very sad if I didn't have a camera. So here, close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes and think of a fight scene. If you have aphantasia, sorry, here, I'll help you out. So there's this dude and he's got a sword, one-handed sword, and he's got a shield as well, okay? So he's going to fight some dude, and this is kind of lame, so if you have aphantasia, sorry. But for the rest of us, close them eyes and think through a fight. Can you see a fight in your head? So we'll take the sword shield guy, he's coming up against another guy, the other guy's got a great two-handed greatsword, and he's come down with the big slash, throw it to the side. How do you describe that? Yeah, that's right, you little book nerds, you little bookworms, I'm coming for you. You perfectly describe the glint of the armor that chips and breaks as the enemy's sword comes down, but our hero is too strong for that. How do you describe that? Think about that. Do you get technical with it? Do you say, they use this kind of defense, they use Pernelli's advance, they use... It's kind of lame, kind of boring. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of books do. No, I'm exaggerating just a little bit. A lot of books do their descriptions with painstaking precision. And I applaud that. I love that. Like I said earlier, learn. Learn about your topic. Kind of hard to follow though. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm giving my 2 cents. In a fight scene on the written page, it's kind of hard to follow. For me, at least. When our character slashes and riposts and parries, that's well and good. I didn't super follow that, but you said our main character survived and won, so that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so he catches the blade and throws it to one side, an upward slash, and then he throws a cut at him. That's kind of lame. He doesn't have a sword anymore. I love battles. Because in my imagination, I get to be on the battlefield, the camera's zooming through the fight, and I get to see who's falling, who's winning. I get to see the sky view of what the battle lines look like. I get to see, in my imagination, the trenches that are dug. But at the same time, in a duel between two characters, I don't know. My imagination doesn't know why an upward slash is so much better than a downward slash at this point. In my imagination, he just did a crosscut and came up to do an upward slash. Wait, no, that was a downward slash. Why did he do that? His sword was up here. But let me tell you, my brothers and sisters in the book reading arts, there is a better way. Descriptors. Now, I don't think I've ever read another book that does this, but hold on. But once again, the Wheel of Time comes to save us. I don't think I've ever read another book that does what the Wheel of Time does. The Wheel of Time, when they do fight scenes, Robert Jordan doesn't describe every slash and every cut and every riposte and parry. He gives the maneuvers names. Like in the real world with dueling manuals, they have names. They have the names of the people who came up with them, followed by the movement that it is. In the Wheel of Time, they're a little more artistically named. And that's kind of fun. I like that as a reader. In real sword fights, you are doing your best to block and parry and riposte and thrust and slash. That's great. You can do that as much as you want in your story, but most fights are done in just a few moves. It's riposte / stab. That's it. You're done. Your enemy's dead, you've won. So in the Wheel of Time, I get to keep better track of where the weapon is because of the descriptors that are used when fighting with swords. Other weapons, axes and spears and whatnot, those are still described pretty normally. But for Rand with his sword forms and Lan with his sword forms, they're described using the name of the sword form. Eagle crests the mountain. Falcon spots the hare. Part the curtain. It's that easy. I know what those look like, not because they were painstakingly described to me, but because my imagination gets to decide what it is. When I hear eagle crests the mountain, I know it's an upward slash. When I hear falcon spots the hare, downward slash. Because the falcon goes like that and gets the rabbit. Artistic, poetic descriptions of fighting and sword forms are really, really cool. I love their usage because I get to use my imagination more. And isn't that what reading is all about? Is using your imagination to translate these words that are hitting your eyeballs, and you get to use your imagination to think about what that would look like. These get stuck so easily. So next time you're writing or shooting or brainstorming or drawing in a comic book, a fight scene, think not only about how you want it to look, but what makes that fight scene great? What makes it cool? Is it because they're using laser swords? And I wish I didn't just throw that away so I could hit again. What about your fight scene is cool? What about your fight scene isn't done? What about your fight scene is unique to you in your filmmaking or writing or drawing talent? That's the most important question. What makes you, you? And if what makes you, you is a bad fight scene, maybe ask for help or maybe hand it off to someone else. I'm not gonna judge. But of course I would be remiss if in this video about fight scenes, I didn't mention the best fight scene ever. Oh yeah, I could look at that all day long. The fight scene from Princess Bride is the best fight scene that has ever existed. There's no cool CGI, they're just fighting with rapiers, but it's the best fight scene ever. Oh, by the way, a lot of the sword forms and techniques they talk about, they're not real. But if you didn't know that, then they did their job. That's fine. Mentioning those sword forms, and even if those sword forms don't mean anything and they're just gobbledygook, they did the job. They told you as the audience, these two men know a lot about fighting. These two men have trained for their entire lives to be able to kill the other person. And now the only question is who has the better moral standing. Inigo Montoya is doing it for money. The Dread Pirate Roberts is doing it because of love. The moral quandary is what decides who wins the fight. Within the world of the story, they are evenly matched. But Wesley needs to get to his beloved, and Inigo Montoya needs to lose. It's all a part of their character. It's all a part of the story. Because fights, like everything else in your story, is a device to move the plot forward. So make your fight scenes. Make a great fight scene. Describe every move if that's what you want to do. That's not my cup of tea, but if that's yours, go for it. That's awesome. Make your fight in your fight scene the best fight scene that has ever existed. But most importantly, make sure your fight has meaning. A meaning in your story, a meaning between characters. And with that, like, comment, subscribe, and send this video to your friend who's never been in a fight before, but could definitely, he could definitely mess somebody up. Dude, he could definitely mess somebody up. Okay, bye.